Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our reaction video to the MTA Food Board meeting for the month of October. And this is your host, Jason Anthony. We are live in our studios in Boerum Hill, Brooklyn. And today we are going to react to the MTA Food Board meeting that featured uh, the reappearance of a notorious person that has been featured in previous videos. And if you want to see his speech today, you could see it. The link is in the description below. But you guys are looking at my beautiful Twitter page that has a profile picture of me and my mentoree, Nilda Rosario. So let's go back to the start of the day. Come on, come on. Let's start here with Jose Martinez. How many public speakers will address the masses at MTA board meeting for the greatest day of the month, version 2.0? He said 7, 12, 64, Mr. X. I replied that 39. So none of the three numbers are correct, but Mr. X was there. Honestly, we're not going to show his speech because we have it on the description below. And I want to thank my biggest fans of the week, Omar Vera, our fellow contributors, Cuomo Corruption, and Andy's Randomness. So thank you guys for being my fan this week. And we tweeted this off. We start off with 39 public speakers on the greatest day of the month, part 2. But something happened on the MTA board meeting. And we are going to go to the TWU Local 100's website. And they posted the video. And this was this very morning. And that's John Chirello. At the time that John Chirello was speaking, none of the governor's appointees were there. That includes a certain person that we are going to mention in a few minutes. Okay, let's pause it right here for a minute. In the back, you have right here David Mack, CFO Bob Ferran, the outgoing COO Ronnie Hankum, the special counsel for the MTA Patrick Joseph Foy, and Sarah Feinberg. And back here we have New York City Transit Andy Byford and the acting vice president of New York City Transit Bus NYCT Bus and senior vice president of MTA Buses MTA Bus Greg Cipriano. And you guys gonna see what's gonna happen here and who is the cause of all the disruption that happened this morning in the boardroom. Look what happens when P. Rosconi, the vice president of private lines, speaks. Okay, here where everything gets interesting. This person right here happens to be Robert Mojica. He is the person that caused all of this disruption. And guess what, folks? He is getting roasted this month by this gentleman that is speaking. That's right, Jason Anthony Pinheiro next month will be roasting Robert Mojica by causing the disruption today in October's food board and causing that people like me felt disrespected by this gentleman right here from Albany, causing all the disruption inside the boardroom. Because as a board member, you should be respectful with all public speakers and paying attention to them, not ignoring them like if we were all bunch of weirdos. Okay, now we see Rob Mojica uh, going inside, but look what happens. You guys saw the general counsel and Patrick Joseph Foy stand up and went to the back. While Privoscani was speaking, while President Andy Byford, like always, being attentive to every public speaker, including the outgoing COO, Ronnie Hagum. Let's keep listening. Look at this. Even Latanya Chris, the recording secretary for the union, felt disrespected that not even Chairman Patrick Joseph Foy and Robert Mojica weren't present. But guess what, folks? Jason Anthony Pinheiro is going to give them both. Patrick Joseph Foy is going to get a third dose of me. And Robert Mojica, this person from Albany, is going to get a dose of my speech. Because you don't stand up and go away when you are in a public speaking session. If we go to 2 Broadway on the 20th floor to attend either the committee meetings or the food board, is that we need our voices to be heard, not ignored like dog piles or something like that. I don't want to go to the extremes on YouTube. But this morning, I was very pissed. And some people very close to me felt that. Even the executive director of PCAC, Lisa Daglian, she's felt it. Even Alan Shannon felt it. Matt Camper noticed I was very angry and had to address some issues that John from Pi Power Ally addressed for the past 2 months regarding Mineola. I had to do it because I was sick and tired of Kevin Law, aka Kevin Law's branch, addressing Babylon only. And guess what? Let's do an exception. We're gonna pause it here for the union, and we are going to go to my speech. Of course, we're not gonna play Mr. X's speech, not even Brian Burke, because that's not my prerogative. I could care less about Brian Burke. Okay, here we go. There you have it, Your Excellency Jason Anthony Pinheiro addressing his brilliancy like ever before. Of course, some people will say, "Bravo!" And by proving that, Let's go to Twitter. Oh, I forgot that I was gonna throw under the bus Larry Schwartz. Larry Schwartz, in other words, Lawrence Schwartz, is safe for this month. But in November, get ready. You're gonna be under the bus. But Kevin Law, Rhonda Herman, and Patrick Joseph Foy are thrown under the bus. We're not gonna get into that tweet. Not even this one. My fellow contributor Andy Ravenous posted the TWU Local 100 is going to have a rally next Wednesday at 5 p.m. in front of 2 Broadway. Okay, we have WNYC Stephen Nielsen, noted public speaker at Jason BXFY 0619, who usually fairly points and sticks to very specific service issues, loses his cool and calls for Floyd to step down, says Byford should be president. Of course, Andy Byford has whatever it takes to be CEO of that agency. Look at this one from our um the senior reporter for the city, Jose Martinez. He posted, "Oh boy, lots of fire being directed at the MTA bigs from all sides." Here's Jason BXNY 0619 telling the MTA chairman to resign along with others. At least Jason called him Patrick Foy, not Patricia. Hashtag the greatest day of the month. And this tweet right here excited me the most from our fellow contributor in this channel and all social media networks, Matt Camper, saying, "What a speech by Jason BXNY 0619, Andy Byford for the next MTA chairman and CEO." And here's why I mentioned I feel sorry for Emma that she didn't mention me. Meanwhile, the disability group, they were bringing chocolates like on-demand joy, and to the Milky Way and back, they were using that tactic to call attention on the food board. I posted this. Patrick Foy is being double-faced with TWU Local 100. Something that is true. And we are going to play the Q&A, and you guys going to see. Let's play from the beginning. Sorry that it looks a little bit blurry, but we tried our best. Basically, at this point, I was mentioning all the transit reporters that were sitting in the front, and I had NJ Burkett right in front of me, like always. And then in the back, we had Dan Rivoli along with Steven Nielsen and Rich Lamb. Damn it. Sorry about that, folks. That was an epic fail. That was an epic fail.
boy, that's interesting. By the way, you know what I'm thinking of doing?
What is it?
Next month, I want to go to the Queen's Botanical Garden because I found out it's free admission. That's right. So I'm going to see if I can go on a Tuesday.
Listen, let's listen very clear to Patrick Joseph Foy's answer to the Daily News transit reporter Clayton Goss regarding what happened this morning. Okay, Emma Fitzsimmons could have appeared for the very last time as a transit reporter, but her question was kind of off, to be honest. Because how the subway is going to improve without Andy Byford? Duh! Emma, you live around Washington Heights. You live in the same neighborhood as my fellow contributor Omar Vera. Shame on you! What the hell you did? No wonder Emma Fitzsimmons never replies to my tweets. Sorry that I had to make a rant about a transit reporter, but that's the fact. Give me 1 second, please. Thank you. But there's more. Satisfying job. That's the answer of Patrick Joseph Foy. But guess what? We want you out. That's it. We want you out now. No questions asked. We want you out. Look at this. Everybody else asked regarding this morning, but guess who had to come to only ask about what happened yesterday on the 7 train? There you have it. CBS own David Carlin. That only came to ask for that. Nothing else. Everybody else asked about the union, what happened this morning in the boardroom, the contract, CBTC, the design build, but David Carlin had to break it all. But after this clip, after we wrap up the Periscope view, we're gonna play audio, and this is exclusive. We had a conversation this afternoon with Long Island Railroad President Phil Ng about a particular ongoing issue reported by several of my contributors. And you guys going to hear firsthand, exclusively, here on this channel, Phil Ng's reaction. So stay tuned for that in the next few minutes. That's WNYC's own Steven Nielsen. We didn't see the answer. Let's see, I think it was towards the beginning that Patrick Joseph Foy did double standard. Okay, we're gonna leave it there. So, this afternoon, during the board's executive session, we had the privilege to speak again, like we always do, with Logan Railroad's president Phil Ang regarding our ongoing issue with temporary platforms, or the so-called bridge plates, in Woodside, Kew Gardens, and Forest Hills. Let's listen to the whole conversation. It's about 5 minutes long that I had with President Phil Ang. Let's listen. Hi Phil.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. Hey Phil, I was gonna ask you, what you guys want us to do regarding informing the community advance notice that temporary platforms are going to be updated why because for example, right now they are updated in Hollis and Hillside in Twice City. But when the notice came out early at 10:45, that didn't give at least advance notice to the commuters that
So
starting
I
this
will
time.
I will check with folks on what we're currently doing, but we're kind of tackling it in many different ways, right? Obviously, there's email, text alerts. There's the MyLIRR web-based notices. So if you know you're going to a station, you can check
We know
and
that,
travel.
Phil, but
The station announcements, and there should be on-train announcements, right? So, and I believe we use social media. So it's all of these different things.
yes, Phil,
You were just asking, should it be sooner?
it should be in advance notice. Like you guys do with the track program.
So I'll talk to the PIO on how early we're doing it now, and we'll see what's the appropriate time to do it
Like,
before.
for instance, for the whole month, you could disclose how many weekends you guys are gonna have temporary travelers days and what side forces and gardens and why you guys are gonna have it in place.
We can talk about that. I'll talk to my folks about. So you're talking about the place schedule changes. Why not show
Exactly.
where we have temporary
Because
platforms?
let's say when you announce the track program,
Yeah.
when you announce the monthly track program, you could add to that. Like, let's say this weekend we're gonna have temporary platforms in place in these stations and right.
Okay.
Because the commuters will know ahead of time what the notification is. Not like, we got the notification this time. It says 11 a.m. You got it 10:45.
We'll take a look at that. Now, I'll tell you one thing. Not every commuter is as following things like you do. But we can look at that because some commuters do want the announcements. They're not everyday riders. So I think it's a balance of improving the monthly report and day-to-day notices.
Exactly.
your report and Kathy's report in the material. Just like Andy Byford has in his monthly report, we would love to see your report. The report that you give in front of the board, the president's report.
Oh, my comments?
Yes. We would love to see yours and Kathy's in the material.
You don't want to come and hear it firsthand?
Bill is
I'm kidding you.
that way when we get the material divided before, we could take a look at it and provide feedback when we come to the Monday. And I think, Bill, that the joint media role should be separate.
Well, that's...
And here's why. I'm not saying because of you and Kathy. I'm saying because Metro is taking more than half of the piece of cake. Because I know that Long Island Railroad has more issues than Metro.
Why do you think they're getting more attention? I think we're getting...
You guys should get...
All right, I hear you.
But you guys should get more attention than them. Because you're...
Don't you think I get enough attention?
No, but you should get more, Phil. Well, thanks, Phil, for taking the time.
I appreciate your feedback. It's important. All right, Jason?
I'll see you next month, Phil.
There you heard Long Island Railroad President Phil N. answering, like always, to my questions and my suggestions. So, Matt Capper, if you're seeing this on replay, take note about this. Because when I say to make wonders, I make wonders. And this afternoon, I received something that it makes me proud of the job that I'm doing. It makes me so proud. I am so proud of having support of so many people. And I want to thank our fellow contributor, Andy's Randomness, for that picture. He sent it to me this afternoon. Andy, thank you. I appreciate it. You and the rest of the team motivate me even more to keep on going. Because when I say keep on going, I keep on going non-stop. So, this month was a little bit intense because you had Monday's speech that featured appreciating Andy Byford. So basically, Monday's speech was about appreciation. Today's speech was correcting things. Next month will be part 3 of all of these speeches in front of the full board. And let's continue Uh, and for those who want to watch the video of the TWU, the comments will be the link will be posted below. Thank you for joining me, Passengers United. Great news. I spoke with Phil and regarding the issue of temporary platforms, and he said on an audio that he's gonna check on it, and he's gonna consider putting the president's report in the board book, just like Andy Byford does with his report. So, bottom line, today was a very heated board meeting. I had to call out Kevin Law because it's not fair that he denounces the situation at Babylon, but not denouncing the situation that happens at Hicksville, Mineola, Wantagh, Merrick, Hollis, Queens Village, Jamaica, East New York, even in my home station and Atlanta, Brooklyn. Kevin Law only cares about Babylon. That's a fact. And thank you, Passengers United, for that in kind message. I know that I'm the best, and I'm gonna keep being the best because no one is going to stop me denouncing the disgraceful actions of the MTA board. Robert Mojica is next. Lauren Shorts is next. I started today with Kevin Law and Patrick Joseph Foy and Rhonda Herman. Lauren Shorts and Robert Mojica are next to be on my hidden speech next month. Because it's not fair that in the middle of the speech, and we're going to reproduce that moment once again. We're going to reproduce what happened once again.
Wait. Keep going, Pete. Pause this time. Keep going, Pete. Get it out. It's recording. Why would you write that? The answer is.
Wait a minute. Let's go a little bit back. Here we go.
I couldn't help it.
Okay. This individual right here, he is next. His name is Robert Mojica. He's from Albany. He was named by Andrew Mark Cuomo, and he is the actual chief financial officer of the state of New York. Nominated by Andrew Mark Cuomo in the middle of the night with no support of the transit community. And he doesn't comply with the residents within the MTA coverage. And Robert Mojica is the cause that this gentleman right here, that's the special counsel to the MTA, and Patrick Joseph Foy do this. Let's play the clip. Well, there you have it. all three gentlemen step into the back, and they stay there for a long period of time. Oh, thank you for joining me, Andy Quinto. But, folks, let's face it. Robert Mojica is going to be roasted. Larry Schwartz is going to be roasted. Not once, but multiple times. Because I'm sick and tired of him not riding a bus. And we know that this Sunday we're going to celebrate the 115th anniversary of the New York City subway. But it is time that certain board members, like Robert Mojica, among others, that don't ride the subway, take advantage of that day to ride the subway. Because it is not true, it is not acceptable that only a few raises concerns about the subway and the state of, let's say, in the state of repair that it needs. Because if it wasn't for Andy Byford, we will see scenes from the 70s and 80s. And something that this one right here that is speaking don't want to see. Because despite the fact that I was born in 1986, I don't want to see those days back again in 2019, 2020. I'm sorry. That's why these following individuals are going to get roasted. Patrick Joseph Foy is going to be next month again questioned by his intervention by the approval of the Air Train LaGuardia, and myself are going to speak with the Inspector General Caroline Kalinsky that she could investigate Patrick Joseph Foy's intervention and the approval in this project back in 2017, and how the approval of this project will affect MTA's assets, like the Casey Stengel Bus Depot and the Metz Willis Point Station, the 7 train in general, things like that. Larry Schwartz. Larry Schwartz has to learn for once. Ride the subway. Take a bus. Ride the Long Island Railroad. Ride Metro North. Take a subway at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. 6 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m., 9 p.m. that he can see fare evasion. Robert Mojica, take an Empire Service train from Albany to Penn. Get on the subway train and go to West 4th Street, J Street Metrotech, or any other subway station to see fare evasion. Or even better, go to Prospect Park on the B and the Q to see the garbage in the tracks. Because I'm already fed up with these out of city board members that they don't do nothing. I had to literally call out exactly around Flare 2299 Mojica isn't even qualified for the board because first he's from Albany. That's one. Second, Andrew Mark Cuomo approved his nomination under the table. And by the way, we're having issues on the 7th that they resume service between Manswillis Point and Flushing Main Street in both directions, while our crews correct switch malfunction at Main Street. So, in order to be a MTA board member, you either have to reside in the 5 boroughs or Nassau, Suffolk, Fairfield, Putnam, Rockland, Orange, Ulster, Westchester, etc. But not Albany, because Albany is not covered by the MTA. It's covered by the CDTA or the Capital Region Transportation Authority. So, that being said, I need your guys' support in denouncing any issue because we have to uncover what is going on once and for all. Because I'm really fed up what is going on with the board in the MTA. Despite the fact that some took the time to send me a message when I was in the hospital Wednesday night to have a speedy recovery. One of them is Sarah Feinberg, and the other one is Veronica Vanderpool. I always appreciate them too. I always appreciate Andrew Albert, um, Neil Zuckerman, despite the fact that him and I disagree in some things. Susan Metzger and Randy Glocksman, we both, oh, I thought that we were like offline. Thank you, Andy Q, thank you, Passengers United. Thank you, Andy Q. I know that you guys have my support like always. But the issue regarding the temporary platforms, Phil is going to look into it. But if you guys see any temporary platforms or that the railroad does it in an unannounced way, and for those who didn't watch my speech this morning, we're going to reproduce it again. So let's enjoy it, shall we?
Paying back interest on the agency massive debt. The interest goes directly into the pockets of the rich. Only purchase empty bonds in order to pay taxes in the first place.
be more vocal. And anti-Bible. You know that social norms.
So basically, I ended up saying that, okay, each person that they put there basically is rude. Last month is what it was a complete disaster. This month is going to be it was a complete disaster also. Next month we hope that the situation gets a little bit better. But of course, why I suggested to raise the speech to 5 minutes, because in the AT they do it. And here are their rules. If a person is going to speak, that person has 5 minutes. If there's more than one person speaking about the same thing, the first two speakers get 5 minutes, and the subsequent speakers will get 2 minutes. That's being fair. But guess what, folks? I attended the diversity committee last month, chaired by guess who? Rhonda Harmon. And they get 3 minutes to speak. While the rest of the committees get 120 seconds to speak exactly. So, what do you like about the meeting today? If you love my speech, post on the comments below. Um, if you need my support, I'm here for it. Any situation that you guys have with the agency, it could be Long Island Railroad, New York City Transit related, Metro North related. Please don't hesitate to contact me on my social media pages that the majority of you are familiar with. And I'll address it directly with the high people. Okay, Passengers United. Here's the answer to your question. You're asking what happened to Freddie Ferrer. Freddie Ferrer was, let's say, ousted by Governor Andrew Cuomo in his usual flip-flopping, changing the law in the middle of the night, like he always does, and caused that Freddie Ferrer was ousted not only as the chairman of transit, the chairman of audit, but also as the interim chairperson and the president of the MTA that was occupied by Patrick Joseph Foy got dissolved, and Patrick Foy came to be the chairman and CEO of the agency. Let's see who else has questions. Okay, since the Rhonda Herman, let me see if we can show you who she is. By the way, she is new. She has been let's say a little bit quiet. Let me see, Haida Metasis. And as you guys see, Larry Schwartz is recovering from a neck injury. That means karma. See, that's Robert Mojica. Kevin Law he got roasted, so I don't have to worry about Kevin Law. Unless if John from Power Online uh, informs me something else, he will get roasted again. Okay, let me see. Okay, um, I want to show you Passengers United who is Rhonda Herman. That's Rhonda Herman. And she was appointed by the Westchester County Executive. And she was appointed April 10th, 2019. Ooh, her term expires in June 30th, 2021. Oh, too bad she's not in Subway, but she is in the Finance Committee and in Diversity. She chairs the Diversity Committee. And she served as the Metro North Community Council between July 2008 and April 2019. And she is also a member of the Metropolitan Transportation Authority Sustainable Advisory Working Group. She currently works for the IRS and has held various management positions in the information system, small businesses, self-employment, and work in the wage investment industry. Boo hell! Co-president of White Plains. That explains a lot. She's from White Plains. Look at this. This board member Heidi Montelsis. She is the executive director, external affairs for the New York Mets. Pure coincidence. Hmm. Now I'm thinking. Thinking. Ron Mahica, of course, director of the budget of New York State. Term expires continues what the current term limit of the office of governor. So, hmm, and he appears in transit, audit, and finance. Hmm, interesting enough. And appointed the day after my birthday. Let's go to Larry Schwartz. Larry Schwartz is the Chief Strategic Officer at OTG, or Airport Concession Company. Hmm. But here says that he's a native from Long Island. But also he served as deputy county executive in Westchester and Suffolk. Hmm. Interesting to know. John Saracen would. Okay, here are the following board members that never will be roasted: Andrew Albert, Norman Brown, Sarah Feinberg, Randy Glocksman, David Jones, depend on his behavior, Linda Lacewell, Bob Lynn, David Mack, Susan Metzger, John Samuelson, Vincent Visitore, VV, and Neil. If I didn't mention that board member's name, that means that's either roasted or going to be roasted. But here's the thing, Passengers United. You have to put the pieces together and go to January 2017, when Omar Rivera and myself were at Fort World Trade Center, when Joseph Foy approved the 2017-2026 capital plan for the Port Unauthorized of New York and New Jersey. And he gave, at that time, $2 billion for the project, but no extension of the cycle path to EWR, because a board member, that I don't know who it is, went against it, arguing that it's not necessarily. But Patrick Foy once again screw us over with this project, and now we have this board member that has ties with the Mets. Pat Foy is from Port Washington. He uses the Port Washington branch. The Port Washington branch passes by Mets Point, and also Mets Point is served by the 7. And that's the closest point that you have between the area and LaGuardia Airport. So there you have the pieces. And I think under the L.I. Martin, I think Flushing Main Street is going to get on elevator. But I'm not sure about that. But we cannot afford having people with luggages on the 7 because the 7 train is too crowded. It's beyond over capacity despite the fact that it's ATO active and has CBTC. So by the way, that's the MTA IG that we're gonna go to the Inspector General page. Caroline Pokorny is the Inspector General. If you have any complaint or something that you want the Inspector General's office to investigate, you could contact them calling at 1-800-682-4448 or emailing them at complaints@mtaig.org or sending them a tweet at MTAOIG. And as you see, the last tweet was on October 18th, and we're going to retweet that tweet because it's very important. And of course, the Inspector General, Caroline Pokorny, she attended the Finance Committee meeting on Monday, and she was there today. So regarding the situation, regarding Patrick Foy being involved in the approval of AirTrain LaGuardia on the Port Authority, I'm gonna take the approach and speak with Caroline Pokorny as soon as I see her next month to see if her office could investigate this. Because this project cannot go forward because it only benefits a small portion of, let's say, the city. Whoa, what a reaction video we just did. So, that being said, it's 8:43 in the evening. I want to thank uh, I want to thank Joel. I want to thank Passages United. I want to thank Andy Quinto, Matt Camper when he watches this. I want to thank him. Andy's Ramblings. I want to thank him like always. You guys are the best tag team ever, and we are going to be great in 2020. So, that being said, good night, everybody.